everyone's talking about you. They're posting flags of the island of Trinidad online for you. Just what's this experience been like?
Yeah, it's been surreal. Like I said last week, it's a dream come true. Honestly, just grateful to God that He put me in this position to do what I do and allow the team to be successful out there. And yeah, Twitter's hilarious. I love all like the little edits and AI stuff. It's just really fun.
You told us last week there was nerves and stuff heading into what was today like? What was how quick did that comfort level sink in for you today?
Obviously, last week, getting my feet wet and playing more minutes and my role was bigger was great. And this week, another tough team, Tulane, solid G5 school. So it was the same as last week, honestly. Being locked in, being prepared, and knowing what to do when the opportunity comes. And yeah.
Looks like you guys went to the deep ball a little bit more with you today. Is that something that you wanted to do? Is that something that you're a part of your game that maybe is underrated?
Yeah, Coach Weiss always, deals up, great plays, for our playmakers. Our receiver room is unbelievable. Obviously, like Deuce, Trey, Strib, Caden, Winnie, and, obviously Daquan as well. So, yeah, if that's, what the defense is giving us, then we're going to take what, they're giving us. So.
Stu's making those kind of catches in practice that he made today as well?
Oh, yeah. All of our receivers have been making those plays all of summer, fall camp, and it shows that, they constantly do this, and it's not just a fluke when it happens in the game.
After a back-and-forth game last week, how relieving was it to kind of win handily today with really no drama?
It's definitely, relieving for sure. You obviously don't want to play in those tight games. It is kind of fun, though, but it's stressful, to say the least. But, it's nice that, our defense stepped up and, they took a lot of heat this past week. And, we know that they're a great defense. All fall camp, they were giving us, a lot of just good looks and whatnot. But, yeah, it was great to get a, good win.
Did you ever see any Trinidad and Tobago flags at Ferris State, or is that new?
No, that's actually new. Obviously, Ole Miss has probably a bigger fan base, so they're kind of getting more creative and whatnot with, the Trinidad flag and, the AI stuff with Trinidad and whatnot in the country. But, yeah, no, I haven't. This is the only time I've really seen that.
And when did you find out you were starting this week or get a pretty good idea?
Same as last week, just preparing as a starter. Obviously, with Austin, being a little banged up, I knew my reps would probably be increased. But it was just like the Arkansas week, just ready when, my number was called.
How was your relationship when you first got here with Lane Kiffin, and how has it changed, obviously, over the last week as the starter?
It's been great. On my visit here, like I said, it felt like home, and it felt like Ferris State, honestly. With how the coaches, talk to you and, communicate with you and, kind of joke with you as like you're one of their sons, honestly. But Coach Kiff, he brings a great, atmosphere to, the facility. Obviously, like we have a basketball hoop on the sideline. We do fun stuff. He keeps it light and lively, but, still very serious at the same time.
How important was it for you when you got here in the summer to build the relationships within this offense and within the quarterback room? So if this moment came like it has over the last two games, you were ready and prepared, and not only just physically, but as well mentally to take your team to 2 wins so far like you've done.
Yeah, as a football player on any team, as a competitor on any team, whether any sport, you always got to be ready whenever your number is called, and to be locked in throughout the whole week and throughout the whole season and off season. It truly shows, and our guys did a great job doing that. There's some guys that have been banged up, throughout the year that have stepped up and done a great job when their number has been called. And I feel like our team just is always locked in, and we're just ready to go.
You went from starting our first SEC game last week to now becoming the fourth player in Ole Miss history with 300 passing yards and 100 rushing yards in the same game. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I did not know that.
How does that
awesome.
make you feel? And then how are you going to use that momentum to build on to you're just going to be a top 10 matchup next week versus LSU?
Right, yeah. Obviously, we're going to, celebrate the win, but we know that we have a, big matchup next week against LSU, one of our rivals, obviously a top team. So, yeah, we just got to stay locked in and prepared and, to not get complacent, really, and to just stay locked in and just have a great week of practice.
Trinidad, what have you learned about yourself in these last couple of weeks?
I would just say that, I could really do it, coming from a D2, comparing levels and whatnot, it was not that doubt in my mind, but, to really prove that I can actually play here and play at a level at like Ole Miss and in the SEC really shows that, I can do anything I put my mind to, really. And like I said, I just got to thank God for that, really. So.
Trinidad, congratulations on the victory, by the way. But when you look at this game, last week you said that, you're almost getting frustrated that Tailing Green and Arkansas was scoring almost every time you guys got a score. They'd score, it was back and forth, and you felt like every time you had to go out there and score. To have a game like today where your defense really shuts them down from start to finish, how does that make you as a starting quarterback feel, and confidence-wise, that, maybe we don't have to score every single drive like we did last week, but, what is that feeling like?
It definitely helps, having a great defense, to have your back when, maybe the offense is struggling or, not having the type of drives that we want. Obviously today we kind of settled on some field goals, but like you said, our defense is right there stopping them, holding a lot of fourth downs and, getting us the ball back. And it's just definitely, breath of fresh air. Honestly, we can relax, but obviously not get too relaxed because, we're still in a game. But, yeah, having a great defense to have your back is definitely a good thing.
You talk about how important your faith is to you. How does your faith help you as a player and as a teammate?
It just helps me as, a player and a teammate and just a person in general, just to, calm down, to know that, God's always got me. Like I said last week, my mom's really, pushed that. My grandma really pushed that, growing up. But yeah, it's just always, you have someone, that you can lean on and talk to, and, with prayer, anything is possible. So. Thank you, guys.